What's up, everyone? My name is Relic. We've got some Unite Championship Series news. That's right, Play Pokemon have come out from the shadows. They've spread some sparkly stuff over social media to say, hey, you know that big old website where we gave you a bunch of information on 2026? Here's more. And for us Unite folks, that's particularly exciting. You might look at this and you might say, but Relic, this is what we had before. And you'd be correct, because this was what we had before. This is what we got now. It's double the length. It's very exciting. But let's just go through, if you've been living under a rock for the last few months, what we are expecting already going into 2026 / Season 5 of the Unite Championship Series. It's kind of weird, because we've now got our guaranteed start date in 2025. We're moving to a league-based system, very similar to what you would have seen over in Asia. Now, Asia had a bunch of different league systems. The point is still there that you've got franchised teams, effectively. There's stability for the teams that are in these leagues. Bunch of orgs have come in, including the likes of Paper Rex, for which this is literally their second ever esport. It was really exciting, really awesome. Got a bunch of cool names to say at the World Championships as well. And on top of that, we're having the entirety of South America into one super league. Brazil, LATAM South, LATAM North, no more. It is simply Latin America. Europe and North America also getting their own leagues. Now, that's a lot less teams, in theory, that can compete to try and get to the World Championships, or indeed just for any prize money at all. There are some upshots to this. First and foremost, all teams who get a Worlds invite get a travel award. In theory, this should mean that for once, for the first time, we should, fingers crossed, have all teams who qualify for Worlds making it to Worlds. Sounds pretty dope, right? Who do those invites go to? Well, they go to the top 2 in each regional league. They go to the winners of AOS Cup, ACL, and the final stretch live at NAIC. And they also mentioned this, winning a Unite Open Last Chance Qualifier. We got no more news on that until today. We will be going over it. And aside from that, there wasn't really much. So I think as a team that might be on the periphery, or as a brand new player who doesn't start the season in time, or doesn't find a team in time for the season to even have a hope of being selected for the league, let's say, you're looking at that last chance qualifier, and that's it. As I say, until today, and it is positive news, folks. Picky choosy, but it is positive news, I believe. Open qualifier for the league. It's happening in December. This is a specific bit here. It's an opportunity for teams in each regional zone to have an opportunity to compete for a slot in their respective regional league. Now, a slot, I don't think that should be taken too literally to mean there is one slot up for grabs and only one team's gonna get it. I actually think that it's going to be a little bit more fluid than that, and I think it's going to be region dependent. So for example, let's take EU, right? Nouns Esports is a legacy org in Unite, and to our knowledge so far, is not going to be majorly splitting up. We know that Inda is going back to North America, but in theory that does suggest that the core 4 is still going to be sticking with it. And especially after one of EU's best showings at a Worlds, I mean, literally since the first one in 2022, I think that's probably a good shout. You'd expect them to be given an invitation to the league. You might look at Gen 5, you might look at Kamai as a recent org that's come in and made a huge impact, having to suffer through a seismic team change post-EUYC, but they're still sticking at it, they still get a squad to Worlds. I think that you look at those 3 teams and the players there within, and you're like, okay, those 3 deserve some sort of invitation. Maybe it spreads out to 4 teams if there's one, if say like Gen 5 breaks up, for example. or if Kamai breaks up. But it's like, outside of that, EU is a very volatile region, and I think that for all of those teams, it makes more sense to run all of them through an open qualifier to compete for 5 other slots to complete the 8-team league. You then look at the Americas, though, and there's a lot less opportunity, I would say, because there are so many good teams. NA, off the top of my head, UNC, Luminosity, OJ, I mean, that's already 3, plus Revelation in there, Nemesis, who were a no-show at the World Championships, that's 5. South America, literally now the homes of our new world champions, Peru. Yatagarasu couldn't make it to Worlds. You got, who we got in there? We got Infamous, we got CACM, Santos Laguna, Aegis Flames. You got it's a Force team, right? So X2Z, DreamMax. You could probably make the entire South American League without an open qualifier. I don't think they're going to make it without an open qualifier, but they could. And that's what I'm saying. I think that each individual region is going to be slightly different in the amount of slots offered. Moving on, once these leagues have been confirmed, December, by the way, for the open qualifier, if we didn't go over it already, a lot of thoughts going through my brain on this. We then have a playoff bracket and regional finals in April. So this locks in the season in terms of online from December to April. Teams will then be ranked, so we're taking the regional finals performance and the league performance. Those 2 results come together, and that's where you get your Worlds invites for the top 2 in each region. Any team, though, that has not received a Worlds invitation, including those not participating in the regional leagues, they go to lengths to make sure that you know that, hey, you're tier 2, you're grassroots, you've got a chance here. That's when the last chance qualifiers come into effect, and we now know that this is going to be taking place in May. So this is around the time, May, June, where we're going to see NAIC. That's basically it then for the online season. You will have a chance right at the very end, and it really does push the emphasis onto the likes of your Unity clashes, your Engage. I really hope to see some official support for Tier 2 at some point as well. I know that as a caster from last season, that's something that I'm seriously going to be pushing for behind the scenes. But yeah, you basically get a, hey, doesn't matter if you're in the league or not, one last chance, one last hurrah, one Worlds invite per region, NAIC, and then that's where we get our Worlds Championship complete group stage. It's actually, I think, better than people were expecting, with the caveat that if we are going to be franchising here, and if it is going to be an enclosed league system, you have to consider the negative side, which is that's a lot of teams and a lot of players who are now no longer going to get that opportunity to continually fight for a top 8 placement, as was the case last year and in many years previous. I hope that there will be some sort of compromise on saying, well, we'll hold some smaller events, or we'll work together with some TOs to make some smaller events. Hey, maybe Battle Harper can come back at some point and do some events as well, alongside the incredible work that you see from the likes of Shivam on Unity Clash, or the folks over at Engage, who are continually leading the way, I think, especially for Europe and Asia. You've got the Unite Academy, Black CH, of course, with North America. But wait! There's more, because we have an official start date, folks, for Season 5 of the Unite Championship Series. Kind of expected. I think a lot of us were presuming this. Latin America International Championships. It says 2026. We know it's in 2025. November 21st and 23rd, to be specific. Where both finalist teams... Check this. Where both finalist teams will earn an invitation to a future event. Now, those who watched LAIC last year and have been up to date with the Unite Championship Series know full well that the winners, Luminosity Gaming, got an invitation to ACL. Now, we're not seeing that full commitment to the ACL invitation, but what we are seeing is that all of a sudden, if you make that grand finals on Championship Sunday, you know that you're going to an event somewhere in the world, and there's only limited events that you could, whether it's ACL, whether it's AOS Cup, whether it's NAIC. I think that's so cool to see more emphasis put on LAIC as a championship, as an individual event, because it's one of your big opportunities in an open bracket format to go out there, earn some prize pool, fight with your team, and now there's more opportunities to potentially jet off to Japan, we're guessing, or wherever ACL is going to be this year. I'm assuming it's ACL, right? I mean, that's kind of, it's in line, but clearly they're not fully cemented, otherwise we would have heard it first. It could be EUIC. Either way, I think it's really awesome. And I think just all of this information in general now, just it crystallizes our expectation of Season 5 as we start at the end of November. We've got that open league qualifier across multiple regions. We then have the league season itself running all the way to April when we have the regionals, last chance qualifier, then NAIC, and then the World Championships. As Gronk would say, it is all coming together. And although it is, there are still some questions that are lurking, that we have touched upon here, that we may not have answers to for a little while, but I think combine this, the excitement of potentially more org support coming into the scene, more steady salaries for players throughout a season, the Groudon, Theosky Ruins map changes, a whole slew of new Pokemon licenses on the way. I feel that's pretty good, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.